they don't see the person. They don't see me as me, just a normal person. They see the disability.
People don't seem to think that when you're in the wheelchair that you have the same sexual needs as anybody else, and you do.
Sometimes I felt depressed because I felt I just don't seem to be getting anywhere. What am I doing wrong?
I think everybody wants to find someone to love. And most people want to find someone to have sex with. And it's natural, it's what's been happening throughout the history of living things.
Can you imagine the amount of frustration people go through being able to watch something on TV and never be able to experience something?
My name's Heather Carroll. I'm an artist and a poet. I'm a lesbian, and my artwork and poetry are looking at disability issues, gender issues. I knew that I was gay from my teens, but because my sexuality was ridiculed, I went along with the flow of what was expected, and I married. After I came out, unfortunately, they did have some of those discriminations, they did have some of those perceptions. A lot of the lesbian clubs are not physically accessible for a wheelchair user. So I found that what I needed to do most of all in a search for a partner was to use the internet forums. Generally dealing with the internet community could be dodgy because the girlfriend that I met after Annette, who I was with for 10 months, she was one that really did hide behind an internet profile, and I then saw a bad side of her and suffered emotional and verbal abuse, some of which was sexual. I found that society's perceptions of disabled people, and especially a disabled lesbian, are very, very restrictive. The moment that somebody is in a wheelchair, it does seem that people are very surprised that you have the same sexual needs as anybody else.
I can't go out in a pub or in a social setting and meet females very easily. I've tried. Since I've been using my wheelchair, I tried in 2013 and to actually go out on a Friday and Saturday night to a disco and to quiet pubs and interact. A lot of people will because they see the chair, they will just go out of their way not to talk to me, and sometimes I'll look at them and I'll say hello, how are you? And they'll say, oh, not bad, but then they'll bust a colour and they'll not even say bye, and it's like, well, at the college I was finding it hard to get into relationships. I got into in the college when I was 16. I got into a relationship with a girl, and you know, nobody knew that we were going out, but we got together in the toilet. That's how secretive we had to be. I just wanted to have that. I just wanted to have that physical experience. So that's all that.
What did you do then?
I decided to look. Well, I was on Google and I come across the Outsiders and the TLC Trust, and from there I contacted a TLC Trust service provider, and it went from there really.
Most disabled people find finding a partner the most difficult thing of all, because they get rejected and they have no confidence. Teased as children and bullied at school and left out as teenagers and rejected when they're adults and generally have a rubbish time. So the fact that they can meet each other and feel accepted, which they do at Outsiders, is a huge step.
I was very isolated, very shy. I had very few friends, very few contacts, and also I wanted to find a girlfriend, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I applied for the club. I filled in the application form, and then they sent me back a book called Practical Suggestions, which gives you a step-by-step process of how to date women. I thought, right, I've got a plan of action, so I wrote a plan of action and did it. And I met lots of women that way, and soon I felt much more at ease. It was like going for job interviews. If they only want sexual gratification, then they can go to a sexual worker for that particular sexual service, whatever that may be. But also if they want a loving relationship that may not even necessarily involve sex, then they can have that as well.
As well as sexual satisfaction and sexual enjoyment, they can have sex education so that they learn about what their bodies are capable of enjoying and learn how to please a partner and interact with someone and talk about sex while you're doing it. And they learn to be great lovers so that when they do find a partner, they have had this great experience and they're knowledgeable and confident.
The first time I went, actually, it was amazing. It just wasn't how I expected it to be. It was very beneficial, and I felt fulfilled and very cleansed. Like I had done what I wanted to do.
It's about intimacy. It's about touch. It's more of a sensual therapy. You know, that to have somebody lying there that isn't able to hold you, I can hold them.
It's illegal to not support a disabled person to enjoy the same things that other people enjoy in the privacy of their own homes. So actually it's illegal not to support them to see a sex worker and not to support them to come join Outsiders.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs states 5 levels of what we need to be able to feel human, and sex and love is on there. Sex and love is a natural human drive, and if people aren't given the opportunity to feel or experience that drive, they're taking away a natural part of being human.
I don't regret going to a sex worker at all, because I know me as a person. I know how I feel.
My wheelchair is purely used as a mobility aid. Although I'm unable to walk, I need sexual pleasure just as anybody else does.